Hey all, Phoebe Rizzo here, talking to the Void once more, and going to be posing one of those questions the internet has been asking for years. What if Superman was a dick? Or, more particular, as Brightburn goes, what if Superman was evil from the get-go, and, well, and we end up with a bit of a cross of the Omen meets the Superman mythos. Okay, so, Brightburn. Now, this movie's a bit of a mixed bag for me, and I did have high hopes for this one as the concept of, okay, here we go with an evil superhero horror film. Okay, you got me in the seat already. I did want to see this one for some time. But there's a few execution issues here that kind of holds the movie back as a whole, but it does do several things right as well. So, basic premise is, well, it's Superman. It's pretty much the Superman origin story, but if the kid was, well, once he starts discovering his powers and his origins, decides, I'm better than everyone else, so I'm going to take the world, and becomes an evil sociopath. Okay, that's pretty much it, and it's more about his parents coming to terms with, so your son may be evil. And one of them seems to catch on and realize things a little quicker, while the other goes into a lot more denial. But I don't think it's ever too completely unbelievable. They do set up that the two parents were trying for some time to have a child, but were unable to. So the basic parent denial things, unless something was shown explicitly to them, I could see how some parents could justify or try to just not believe certain things, particularly when it's something as unbelievable as this superhero sinisterness. Okay, so first of all, what the things does right, it does right. The acting overall, very well done, and this is an R-rated horror film, and it definitely rides that R rating pretty hard. The death scenes are gruesome. It seems to go out of its way to play up the amount of violence and blood that such a concept could have, and I will say I was impressed with some of the things they did with it, though most of it seemed kind of unnecessary, even if it was impressive to look at. Mostly citing at one point the kid, Brendan Breyer is his name, and the symbol he keeps using is like a BB. They never actually give him like a superhero, super villain name. The title Brightburn actually comes from the county that he's being raised in, though it does sound like a superhero name. Anyway, he's chasing this one other character who he's revealed his evil superhero-ness to. As his victim drives away, he pretty much picks up the vehicle and just slams it down, and the occupant of the car is jaw then pretty much bites his steering wheel, and his jaw gets nearly severed, and as he's languishing before death is actually trying to pick up and hold his jaw in place. And while an impressive scene, overall the gore level seemed more excessive than actually helping things along. And as I've never been opposed to gore in general, but this movie goes from 0 to 60 really quick on that regard, so I mean, some of the earlier things did it better, particularly his first real victim, but this one was a bit up and down in terms of that. While shot and done well, it just seemed gratuitous even by my standards. Now, the main issue I have here is this movie doesn't really explore the concepts of the kid turning to deciding, yep, I'm evil now. It happens so quickly, it doesn't really give you much build-up at all. I mean, from what you see at the beginning, he seems like a sweet enough kid. Then, spaceship goes brrr, then he's evil. That's pretty much how it goes in that regard. They, like, it kind of implies he might be getting, like, messages from wherever he's from to try to take the world, but it doesn't show him really wrestling with any of that as, like, a decision or whatnot. It's like, okay, I'm better than everyone, I guess, so I'm going to do what I want. I do what I want seems to become his new mantra, and it goes from there. It doesn't show any remorse from that point on. He just does what he does. Shows a little bit of concern about his parents finding out, but even when they do, he just cracks his knuckles and does what he has to do at that point. It's like, okay, I guess evil now. So that's a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping they would wrestle with it a little bit more rather than just being, like I said earlier, Damien from The Omen is now away from space. Um, that's pretty much all there really is to this one. For giving it a rating, I kind of was wrestling with this one because there are a lot of good things here and a lot I liked, but at the same time, its flaws are kind of glaring at times. And I was expecting a little bit more from Brian and Mark Gunn. So I'm still gonna give this one a 4 MacGuffin because what it does right, it does very right, and the certain atmospheric scenes are very atmospheric, and some of the cinematography is just beautiful. But the concepts keep it from getting much better than that, so I'm putting it at a low level of a 4. So it barely squeaked into there. I guess my 5 MacGuffin rating system does not allow for a lot of nuance, but this one does reach the 4 category, albeit barely. That said, the concept alone, I would be interested in seeing maybe a follow-up where they could explore it, or if they keep doing, like, this would be an interesting thing to set up, like, a cinematic universe for, of having different dark superheroes and either having them compete or almost make like an anti-Justice League sort of thing. I'd be interested in seeing if they do a little bit more on that. But currently, from what I'm seeing, it just seems to be a one-off. But it's just, this one overall just feels like a lost opportunity for me. Worth seeing, but just have some taper your expectations going in. Alrighty, and be back again soon.